Good evening. I just recorded for like 10 minutes and then I realized it wasn't recording at all. So that's frustrating. Anyway, just want to show you my new knives I have. So, first I have the Microtech Ultratech Jedi Knight edition. They have a few Star Wars themed knives, and this is the Jedi Knight version. So it is very similar to the Jedi Master version, except for the Jedi Master version is the UTX-85, which means it's a slightly smaller knife, and it's going to have a bronze-colored clip with a bronze trigger. And it's also got the lightsaber buttons right there. And because it's lightsaber themed, it is a blue blade, which is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blade. Of course, we've got it's considered a bloodline. It's made for less resistance when you stab things. If you were to stab, say, a carcass of an animal, and you go to pull your knife out, you're going to have some resistance. So with this bloodline, you're able to pull it out nice and quick-like. So that's what that line is for in a fixed blade, and usually in a dagger. So there you have that. With the Star Wars line too, they do have some extra detail in the hardware, which is proprietary hardware. We have the date that it was created, which was a few months ago, and the serial number 6939th one to be made. So there you have it, the Ultratech Jedi Knight. Sweet knife. Alright, next we have the Chaves 229 Redencion, I'm sorry. I've wanted this knife for a very long time, and I finally attained it. This knife is expensive. Retails for nearly $400. It's a very sought after knife. People really like this knife, and it's typically sold out everywhere. I believe right now, at the time of this recording, which is the last day of August, they do have it available on knifecenter.com, and you can also get it on eBay, and I'm sure you can get it at other places. This is the drop point blade, which I wish I would have gotten the Tonto blade, which is a real beautiful Tonto. It just basically means that this blade is going to come back like that, and then it's going to go back. Instead of just one nice continuous curve, it's going to be like one much sharper curve, and then like that. So it's essentially going to look like that. But it's a beautiful drop point blade. I absolutely love the grind on this blade. It is very sharp. It's got M390 steel, and the action is very smooth. One thing I'm not too crazy about, it's because there is no flipper. There's no flipper there. It's only your thumb stud action. Because of that, the detent is not nearly as heavy. When there's a flipper tab, you're typically going to have a much heavier detent, which means that when you go to push it out, it's going to be harder. But when there's a flipper tab, the detent is heavier. And so, if you can see in here, you can't even see the detent. It is... where is it? Let's see if I can find it for you. I can't even see it, dude. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's that little ball. That little thing right there. It's just very much in there. There it is. There you got a good see it. You can see it. That little tiny ball. It's very, I don't know, not heavy. So whenever you go to close it, it's going to hit that ball. But because it's not very heavy, whenever you go to close it, normally when that ball is real heavy, when it gets to about right here, it just grabs that blade, but because it's not that heavy, it doesn't really fall like I like. Now a Hinderer, or my Arcane Design Abyss, or even my Zero Tolerance 0562 or the 0393 are the two that I've had. I sold the 0393, but the 0562, I don't have it on me because I'm letting a friend borrow it while he let me borrow some money. Essentially pawning him my knives. But anyway, when I get that back, I'll show you. In the Arcane Abyss that I have, I just sent it off yesterday to get some anodizing done on it. So when I get that back, I'll show you what I mean. So that's the Chaves 229 Redencion. And also, if you're like, oh, I love the knife, but I'm not real crazy about the skull clip, well, the skull is kind of Chaves' thing. But a little while back, they started including a second clip. So if you so choose, you can put this clip on, which eventually I will, but I have this little Weeha stubby, and I don't have the right size to do that. So when I get the right tools, I will eventually switch that clip out. So I might even do it later. I might try to do it with I do have this. I might try it and see if I can get it, but there you have it. And lastly, I was really excited to get this one. This is a Ryke knife. Ryke Knives is the brand, and this knife is just called Ryke knife. Yeah, I don't know the model number or the model. It just says Ryke knife on the blade. It is a Cpm D2 blade, which is different than D2. It's a better version of D2. It's a powder. I forget the correct terminology, but it's just a better quality steel. And we've got full titanium scales. That's my style of knife right there. Big, thick titanium frame lock. It's not perfectly centered, which I'm not too crazy about, but I'm sure that can be fixed. But what's special about this one is, look at that blade. Complete mirror finish. That's absolutely gorgeous. And there we have right there, Ryke knife. It says fail to show restraint. And on the back here we have Cpm D2. I have wanted this knife for a real long time, ever since I've seen it in my local store. It is the only one they had, and I wish I knew the model number so I knew the value of this thing, but I don't. I know what I paid for it, but I don't know what the value of it is, because most of the time their knives are cheaper than list price. I don't know how they get their knives so cheap, but they'll have stuff that's like long discontinued. As in the case of this knife. This knife hasn't been made in a very long time. I'd say probably between 5 and 7 years. I don't have any idea. I looked up a video and found a knife that was very similar to this. It was a Ryke knife. It had the same body style. It had the same blade style. It was not a mirror blade. It was not a blue scale. Everything else was similar though, and that was a video from 7 years ago. So I really have no idea how old this knife is. And one thing in the video I saw too, he was complaining about how the blade kind of stuck out a little bit right there, and that he cut himself, and that somebody else, when they pulled this knife out of the case, cut his finger. And so mine doesn't do that. Mine has no blade sticking out at all. So it might be slightly newer, or it might be a different model. But anyway, I did want to sell this. I was going to want to sell it, but I think I'm going to keep it. It's an absolutely gorgeous knife. It's not something that you can buy anymore. And that's the type of stuff I like. So I've always wanted a nice mirror blade. I've never had one. I never thought I'd be able to afford one. And although this wasn't too expensive, it was about 300 bucks. But typically when you see a mirror blade like that, it's on a knife that's a lot more expensive. So the action on this is pretty stiff. But that, if I use it a lot, it will break in and become smoother over time. So, yeah, there you have it. It's the newest additions to my collection. I hope that you enjoyed. And let me know below which one's your favorite and why. Until next time, see ya.